Hey friends, I'm Arthur Perkins. This is APGamingREAL. Battletech, The Time of Total Warfare, Season 4, first episode. Hello Internet, I guess we should say first. Second, there won't be a skip introduction button on this episode for those regular followers. If you're new here, I'll talk about that next episode. We're gonna do some stuff here to get kicked off. First, allow me to say that this is a Battletech game played using the Total Warfare rules for this season, the fourth season. We're going to start by, on the tabletop RPG side, switching to Mechwarrior Destiny. It's in closed beta. It's not ready for release publicly yet, but Catalyst is working on it, and when the release comes out, we'll take a look at that. We'll see if we like what we're doing here. If not, we'll switch back to our other character builds. For now, this is what we've got. There are some small rules changes that I want to get out of the way, including several house rules that I'm reversing for the season. Edge can only be spent on yourself. Jump into woods no longer requires a roll. Pilots no longer auto-eject on headshot or ammo explosions. And here are some rules that are added because we're using Mechwarrior Destiny. Edge recharges every session, which means if we stop mid-combat, you get it back at the beginning of the next session. And you get 3 plot points per person for the RPG rules, which we'll use at some point. And you get a number of plot points every episode when we are playing on the battlefield, equal to your Edge score. As a personal house rule that I am doing, all of the support damages that are listed for battlefield support, their damage values will be doubled because they're too low to be used otherwise. Friends, we have skipped forward in time. Now, some of you might know that we're jumping from January 3052 to mid-June 3059. I have made a video. I'm not going to link it in chat right now because I'd rather you watch us, but if you catch this on YouTube, it is the top thing in the description section. It is 7 minutes long and will explain all the major events between 3052 and 3059 that get us to where we are now. I would like now to introduce my fellow cast members and perhaps ask them what character they're playing and a short description about who they are and what they do, both as their character and as their person flesh meets, not on the internet. Speaking of person flesh meets number 1, we're going to jump right there to Raddosaurus. Who are you? Where can people find you? Very briefly, what do you do? And tell us a little bit about this call sign Heavy 7 person.
Yeah, my name's Raddosaurus. You can find me right here on Arthur's show and basically no other places. I guess on his Discord as well. You can find me generally being Cottontailed on the internet in that location. If you're in need of someone to be Cottontailed towards you, feel free to stop by and communicate with me. I've had a busy, has it been like 2 months? I feel like it's been forever. It's been like 6 weeks. How long has it been?
It has been a while. I'll go get you the official amount.
Yeah, I started a new job. I've been very busy. My schedule is not entirely set. The new job that I work has a pretty flexible schedule. So sometimes I start really early in the morning. Sometimes I work later in the day. So I have to be a little bit more flexible as far as when I can sit down and play games these days. But overall, it's been good. It's a new career field for me, so I'm learning a lot. It's a little bit like drinking from a fire hose. But yeah, that's basically, I guess, the big news that's going on with me and my life. My character that I will be playing this season will be the return of Butch McGurk. Butch McGurk is no longer parading as El Guapo. For any new viewers, Butch McGurk went by the call sign Heavy 7. And after an illegal operation and his identity was compromised, he assumed the identity of his family legacy, which is a luchador named El Guapo. So he paraded as that persona, I guess, for a pretty extended period of time. He retired from the unit to pursue a career in the gladiatorial games and eventually became a very successful movie star and has now due to the untimely death of his mother, returned to the unit to serve once again under the Crow's Black's colors. And yeah, I guess that pretty much catches us up. I think that's good, right?
Yeah, that sounds good to
The
me.
next person.
Friends, gathered throng. Allow me to introduce for your information, Cottontailed. Who are you? Where can people find you? And what do you do when you aren't being Black Rabbit, who I guess I know nothing about? Tell me more.
Hi, I'm Cotton. I doodle and stuff. You can find me on Twitter or AP's Discord because I hang around there a lot. I'm playing Black Rabbit again. Same Black Rabbit from last season. She's gone to school and got her doctorate in being a doctor. And that's about it.
Just to cover, because I made this mistake before. You mean a medical doctor, not a veterinarian.
She's I don't know where you got veterinarian.
You know, Cotton, it might just be the fact that you're like, you know what, I would love a rabbit to go with another 6 cats, a horse, a mule, and a third dog.
Well, that's fine, because Pondo won't let me have anything.
Wow. Anything else you want to add?
Nope, that's it.
Gathered Internet, a man you may know of, or you may not know of. Allow me to introduce him. Some have called him SidAlpha, but others call him Murder 6, or occasionally they call him whatever his old call sign was that I never remember, but I always thought was slightly better.
Death Wish.
Yeah. Let us talk now to you, SidAlpha. Who are you? Where can people find you? What do you do? And who is this Death Wish Murder 6?
These silly Death Wish. Yeah, hi, I'm SidAlpha. I do YouTube things when I'm not having my life utterly consumed by my day job. I do a lot of video games industry news, commentary. Occasionally, when I can get around to it, I do a review. And yeah, my character is Maxwell Harridan. I guess Colonel or Lieutenant Colonel Maxwell Harridan now got promoted. His skills were finally getting decent towards the end of last season, and he was actually starting to become effective. So we had to eliminate that and take everyone kind of like back to basics. So I'm going to be back to relying on the 6-sided dice, which we all know how well that goes. Yeah, I put Will Wheaton to shame when it comes to rolling bad dice. And yeah, Maxwell Harridan is the pseudo leader of Crow's Black. Somehow he's managed to survive a bunch of encounters, and when a lot of people have wished him dead, and he's made a habit of pissing in people's Cheerios all across the cosmos, including to the point where we managed to get a clan to engage in a trial of annihilation because he made them angry, because he's that good at pissing people off.
Very well. You got anything else to say?
No.
Okay, well, hold up, Dre. I got one more to go. Gathered internet audience, please, for your viewing pleasure, allow me to introduce Pondothemad. Pondo, who are you? Where can people find you? And what do you bandy do? No, I feel like it was on the fly. Forgive me for that one. Just go walk with it. Just walk with it.
Hi, I'm Pondo or Pondothemad. You can catch me for Switch/Pondothemad, where I play video games and whatnot. Or you can catch me here on Saturday nights playing Warhammer, where I want to argue with Sid because my luck towards the end of last week was not that great. I think
Yeah,
it's
but
because
everyone has bouts of rolling badly. My bout of rolling badly is just, lasted for like, decades. So
that's fair. I think it was because I made like the 666 when I probably shouldn't have.
Yeah, you ate everybody else's luck.
All your luck, right?
And
there.
for a unit that wouldn't really have been damaged by taking 3 points.
No, it's. I kind of secretly wanted to pass all those just for the hell of it, but then I paid for it immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I probably should have just accepted it because I don't think it would have bracketed or anything. Oh well. That's me. I am playing Vincent Gray once again, Bandito. He spent a couple years in the loony bin for rich, snobby people and veterans. But I don't know if that was entirely accurate. That's what I thought AP told me.
I'm sure some of that may be covered almost immediately. I don't know. Who knows what my script right here says, but it is like 2 pages long, so we'll find out.
He is currently the XO still of the unit, despite all. I don't want to say like. What's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word I'm looking for.
Can't help you. I don't know where you're at.
I don't know
Space
where I'm
magic?
at either.
No, listen, we made a promise, okay? We made a promise as a group. We would never say that word again after the end of season 3.
There.
There was a blood pact involved. We cut our hands and pressed them against our cameras, okay, Sid? Why would you do this?
Yeah, but for me, that
No.
was catch up.
Okay.
That's, the word I was looking for was reservations.
I see. No, don't worry. I'm sure you're perfectly fine. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about Bandito?
No, that's about it.
All right.
All I can think of.
It wouldn't be a Battletech intro sequence without me doing something entirely unplanned that forced my cast members to think quickly and or just completely flub something out of nowhere. Friends, I would like to go to each of you and ask you to introduce one thing about me, your game master. Perhaps your favorite NPC, or your favorite time I messed up really bad, or just the thing you always correct me on. Raddosaurus, I'm going to toss it to you. What do you got? Tell the people who I am.
Welcome to Arthur Perkins' world of role-playing games, tabletop role-playing games, and other games as well. Probably not considered a variety streamer, but I would say that his depth of systems, if you have ever or are planning to play a new system that you've never played before, you could roll a d20, and it would be a very low DC for you to find that Arthur has already played that system, and you could watch videos of him running said system. So the Arthur fact that I will throw out there is that you can go to his YouTube channel and find literally thousands of hours of probably over
51.
I don't know, 50 different I was going to say 50. I was going to be so close. 50 different tabletop systems that you can go and experience and get a feel for. And that's actually, true story, how I discovered Arthur. As I was planning on running a Pathfinder module, and I went to the internets to find anybody else who had run this module, and I came across his Reigns of Winter Pathfinder campaign, which was hilarious and awful. But
that was when you made the decision to not run that module, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I ran one session of it, and then I watched Arthur's videos, and I was like, never mind.
Tatzelworm.
Yep. But it led me to his other Pathfinder campaigns, specifically Skulls and Shackles, which, of course, is the first time that I saw Sid. I didn't meet him then, but that's like that was the beginning of my SidAlpha experience. So yeah, if you're
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. I'll consider your apology. I don't know that I can accept it, but I'll note it. It's noted. Yeah, that's my Arthur Perkins fact of the day, and includes a short story of how I first encountered Arthur years ago.
I want to jump in here to interrupt real quick and say that the SidAlpha experience sounds like some sort of Vegas show.
Yeah.
Allow me to continue moving the train along. Cottontailed, APGamingREAL facts. Be about this show, be about anything. I would prefer it not be bad, but I
I was trying to
understand.
think. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I understand if that's the only thing you could think of as something bad. You know, there's not much good to kick around.
My favorite NPC that you played on this show, but I didn't get to meet a lot of them.
Okay.
But my favorite NPC you've had altogether is James Jives. Pops up everywhere.
He does. He's actually in this show as well.
I think probably from the ones I met, it would be. Well, I think it was Delta was his name.
Delta, yeah, the artist.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Cotton low-key throws shade at Arthur every chance she can get when she's like,
Did I?
well, we didn't do much RP in this game. I didn't actually
I
meet
didn't mean it
anyone or
like
do
that.
anything.
I didn't mean it like
Yeah,
that.
no, we
See?
observed
Emotional
this
sniper.
on Cancol. She's the emotional sniper. Speaking of people who throw shade, SidAlpha, AP Gaming Real Facts for the audience, just to fill them in on who I am.
AP Gaming Real Facts. Here's something very important to know, that every single campaign I've been in with Arthur's, he has, through no fault of my own, somehow managed to make my character somehow hated by the majority of the world.
I was holding my breath the whole time. I didn't know where you're going to go with that. I don't think that's something that I do, SidAlpha. Certainly it's something that happens. I will not... I'll have to think on this one.
It's definitely not my fault. I'm a good person, and I never do anything involving
I
any
seem
form
to
of
remember
pyromania or
you
mass
poisoned an
murder.
entire town, and then you lied about it repeatedly, and you got away with it. That was the rest
I
of the
did get away
players
with it
all
repeatedly.
failed their insights. Pondothemad, AP Gaming Real Facts, go.
AP is secretly bloodthirsty, but he won't readily admit it.
I literally openly tell people that when I kill their character, I will burn their character sheet, put the ashes into a shot glass, and then fill that shot glass with rum and drink it to gain their power. I don't know how less secret I could be. Do you want me to just put blood on my face right here and hold a pitchfork? What will it take?
Yes,
You
actually.
occasionally do say that I don't like killing characters, but then you say,
I know,
kill the character.
listen, you forgot the second part of that phrase. I don't like killing characters. I want to keep them alive in a tormented state as long as possible. You have
But
to
yet
take
you
things
any
away from them
opportunity to
so they
kill
can
them.
experience loss.
Okay.
All right. You could be, listen,
Which also explains
contest.
Arthur's making my characters hated.
I don't even know how to do with that. Friends, we now begin. The screen we find ourselves sitting in front of is completely black. In the lower left-hand corner, with the sound of a typewriter, words begin to appear. June 4th, 3059, Operation Bulldog, Wave 2. We see our good friend Maxwell Harridan with his new emerald green eyes staring towards the camera. Then the camera shifts. He is in the cockpit of an unfamiliar mech, staring out at the cockpit's heads-up display, and he sees space in every direction, everywhere he looks. There are laser blasts. There are missiles flying past him. There is 3 different alarms going off. One of them is like a high-pitched wee noise. Another is like a low humming bup, 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 bup. And a third one is a computer-generated alarm that's saying, target lock, target lock, target lock. There is a missile lock indicator indicating you have been locked onto by a missile system right now. Lieutenant Colonel Harridan, can you walk me through your thoughts right now as you are free-falling in space?
This will either be a lot of fun or really suck.
As you say that, you notice that your mech is moving in a downwards fashion towards a planet, and coming towards you is the engine section of a Leopard-class dropship. You have no maneuverability. Your mech, as we zoom out, your mech is cocooned inside of a mech drop pod that is attempting to avoid this thing by like going down, going around it. The engine section is tumbling towards you, and the last thing we hear is a crunching noise as the screen goes black. Everything goes in reverse. We go back to a black screen, and in the bottom left-hand corner, it says 3055. Stepping off of a dropship, why don't you tell us what you look like in 3055 after the filming of the second Kenneth Cross story, the Vincente Grease experience? What do you look like? Butch McGurk, warrant officer of Crow's Black.
Butch McGurk is now in his sort of early to mid 50s. He has his hair is cut pretty short, still in like not a buzz cut, but a pretty conservative, tight fade, I guess you might say. He has not only his trademark Magnum PI mustache, but he also now sports a large, bushy Santa Claus-esque beard that he wears pretty proudly. He's lost all the extra weight that he once gained to mask his identity. He's as large and in charge as ever. He's, of course, you know, your typical older military man, I guess. Yeah, he's probably wearing like aviator sunglasses. He's not really the type to flaunt like his wealth or success or stardom. He probably usually prefers to go more unnoticed than be in the spotlight. I think he's got now his life is focused in another direction. I think he got caught up in the glitz and fame of gladiator and movie star, and found that it wasn't really to his taste. And he kind of had his fun, and now he's kind of ready to go back to something a little more familiar and comfortable to him.
As you are walking down the dropship, young man, early 20s, approaches behind you. African American descent, shaved head. He's got enormous star-shaped sunglasses that are tinted extra black, perhaps so black you can feel them sucking the color out of everything around them. He pulls out a toothpick and goes, "Yo, yo, 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 my man! Is this where we're setting down?" This is Billy Wyndham Williamson IV, Esquire. As you can see, he turns around, and there is a dragon and a tiger fighting each other. The tiger is wearing El Huapo's mask, and beneath it says Williamson McGurk Defense Services. And he says, "All right, okay, I can see we got some rustic architecture here. Let me find, the local CTO, see if I can get jacked into the system, my man. We're going to customize your mechs up and down, brother, up and down."
So we're at Castle Crow,
Yeah.
I imagine. Okay.
Yep, at the dropship bay.
Then, yeah, don't embarrass me.
He's like, "Embarrass you? No. Look, I'm gonna hack into the local network. Okay, give me a second, real quick."
I feel like he's probably on the way, like, to the surface. He probably has a car waiting to take him, like, wherever the place to be is already.
Yeah.
So he's probably making for the car, and I think Butch McGurk is having a contemplative moment as he stands and looks up at this castle that he hasn't seen. And the first thing he's going to do is he's going to, even if it's off-site, he's going to want to go to his mother's grave before he talks to anybody, meets with anybody, any of that. He wants to go visit his mom's grave.
As your driver, who is actually Lieutenant Howler, begins driving you away, you can see in the background that Jerome Curie and Dr. Michael Baron Waring are both arguing with this newcomer, Mr. Williamson. All of the lights on the base cut off because it's nighttime, and then some of them turn on like spotlights onto this dropship, and your Centurion begins walking out, and music begins playing like some sort of low Solaris 7 techno synth. You could see that the Baron is exploding in rage.
So Butch McGurk's Centurion is a unique mech. It painted entirely in like matte black. And it has, of course, much like his Axeman did, it has the glow-in-the-dark skeleton painted on top of it with like the sugar mask for the face and stuff. And it, unlike a normal Centurion that has a left arm and then a cannon on the right arm, this Centurion has two arms. So just like if you took the left arm and copied it and mirrored it over, it's also a little bit larger, a little bit bulkier than a normal Centurion. It's 5 tons heavier than the standard Centurion you would find in the day-to-day, because it's based off the Centurion 1B, which is the larger model of the mech. So yeah, it's immediately different, I guess. Anybody who not, maybe wouldn't be different to the common eye, but anybody who knows their mechs would know that this is a highly modified piece of machinery.
So, as you're driving away, you can see that the system, you thought it hadn't been loaded, but the system on Solaris 7 to like set off fireworks and sparkers and explosions to do an intro sequence for your mech, it appears that Billy Wyndham Williamson IV Esquire has reloaded that just to lock it off of the dropship.
I'm sure
And
he
at
took some
3
liberties.
o'clock in the morning, the whole base is being lit up by dubstep. Howler says nothing as he drives you towards your mother's grave, except to say, "Good to see you again, warrant officer."
He's lieutenant now, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Same. You seem to be doing well.
Thank you, sir.
He doesn't say much more. He's not really in a talkative mood at the moment. He's being sullen.
All of the people who died during the Steel Viper invasion all have a gravesite dedicated to them behind the Countess's mansion, overlooking the mountainy bluffs. Beautiful view of the Western Sea. Just taking his hat off and waiting by the car. Howler kind of remains distant.
Yeah, Bush McGurk has, I don't know that he has like a bouquet of flowers, but he probably has like a flower. And he goes up and, the camera probably just watches like from a distance near, sorry, I just realized that this sound that keeps happening is my work phone. I'm not accustomed to that yet, having a work phone. So let me silence. I don't know if you can hear that dinging.
We
Sorry
can.
about that. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I fixed it. It's not a familiar noise to me yet. I was like, man, what is that dinging noise? What asshole has their phone dinging at him during the stream? Anyway, we probably watched the scene from like kind of like Howler's perspective, right? We just kind of see like the 3/4 angle of Butch McGurk kind of from the back. And, he just kneels down and he sets both his flower that he's brought down on the ground in front of the headstone. And then he reaches inside of his jacket and pulls out his luchador mask and lays it on the headstone there by his mom, and probably takes a couple minutes and then returns back to the car.
The screen fades to black at this point, and in the lower left-hand corner, it says 3056. When the screen fades back in again, we see Selena Lockwood, aka Black Rabbit, sitting across the table from Countess Crystal Crow, the owner-operator of Crow's Black. Doctor?
Hi.
You left us rather abruptly after the Steel Viper incident. I see here that you've completed your med school training.
Can you really blame me for leaving after that?
There is no blame to anyone who left afterwards. Your contracts were up. I'm just curious as to why you would return.
I have nowhere else to go, really.
Well, normally I would schedule you to meet with a unit counselor or of some sort, but it appears that you are our unit counselor. So I'm going to recommend some outside help. Just sign here, Master Sergeant.
I'll sign it.
Welcome back to the unit.
Thanks for taking me back.
You have a place here. You've shed blood for us.
How have you been?
Busy. There's been changes.
What kind of changes?
She just kind of looks distantly towards the window. Probably some really sad music is playing.
I feel like I'm missing something.
It's... I'm missing a lot of things. A lot of people died during that Steel Viper incursion, and we're still recovering, reorganizing and rearming. It's going to be a long time before we're ready to fight at full strength again. And we are deeply, deeply in debt.
Do you need a meeting with the unit counselor?
No, I think I'm good.
Are you sure?
Yes.
All right.
I've come to terms with a lot.
that's good.
Thank you, Doctor. I think waiting for you immediately outside the door is Delta, the elemental. He's in his full battle armor indoors, which means he barely fits inside the hallways here. But he pulls off his face mask and is just like, "Oh, hey! Hello, the small one."
Hey, big one.
His whole elemental battle armor is covered in like stars and hearts, horseshoes, rainbows. It looks like a Lucky Charms
Straight
bar
up Lucky
from
Charms.
yeah.
I love what you've done.
I've been
Just
keeping
gesture
up
to the
on
screen.
all of that artistic work. I still have that art kit you got me,
Oh, that's good.
and all that paint. Just a lot of paint, You left a lot of paint when you left, so I just took it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
you want
okay.
to
I
go?
got more.
You want to go see the gallery? We set one up. There's all sorts of pictures of what you did to the old base.
Sure, I'll go see.
Okay, so the screen fades to black again. In the lower left-hand corner, it says 3057 Part 1. Howler, 2 years later, is now jacked as hell and is wearing a lieutenant senior grade outfit. Crow's black uniform with silver trim. And he is standing outside. There's a tree blocking a sign, so we can only see the second half. It says rehabilitation facility, but it's just an oak tree blocking the sign. And Bandito, what do you look like when you exit the rehabilitation facility? Haven't been given your freedom. You've got your phone, and you have a letter addressed to you. Although the back of the letter, there's no, it's pink. The envelope is pink, and the back of the letter has a witch hat sticker over keeping it sealed, and a little cat's paw ink blot as almost like a signature. Your phone is blowing up. You haven't checked your phone in like 5-6 years, so you have thousands of messages waiting.
It just melts in your hand.
I think Bandito is like at this point just kind of let the beard grow out. There's not as much of like a twitch to his hands as like he would typically be mostly paranoid all the time. Now he's just mostly been sitting there at the place because he realized that he couldn't just throw up his little conspiracy walls or else he'd be still damn crazy. So he's mostly just been stuck, bored to death for several years.
Playing squash. Yeah.
Having
rough.
to listen to other people who are suffering from probably PTSD and whatnot.
Howler waves you over. He's driving a company personnel transport, basically like a canvas colored truck, but with, hover.
Bandito will walk over as he checks his phone that's currently shaking with the might of what a train.
Yeah, your bank account lists you as having 12 million C-bills right now.
Oh.
There are approximately 300 interview requests waiting for you. There's something about a movie with your name on it. You've no idea what's happening here.
I have so many questions.
Howler says, Lieutenant, good to see you.
You too, Lieutenant. This is like Benny kind of like.
Yep, get in the truck, Lieutenant.
Okay.
He begins driving, and you have no idea where he's going because he's not going towards the base. He's heading out north into the hinterlands.
There's now a twitch in Bandito's eye. As he feels like he's being drove out to the middle of nowhere to be shot.
Vincent, are you okay?
Oh yeah, totally fine. This is a familiar feeling.
What do you think we're doing?
I don't know. Where are we going?
It's a medal ceremony.
Ah.
We're getting promoted.
Okay. Just thought that we would go to the castle. It's fine.
You haven't checked your email yet.
I haven't. My phone has been vibrating like I'm about to take off into orbit.
Then we're gonna have a real difficult conversation after this meeting. But just make sure you get back in my truck afterwards. I'll be taking you someplace special.
Oh, okay.
Privately, alone, just you and me.
Gotcha.
Together.
He drives you up to a just like a nice grassland setting. There's a platform there. A number of chairs have been set out, you know, like folding chairs. The Countess is, instead of wearing either noble clothing, the dress uniform of the unit, or a Crow's Black uniform, she's wearing like a tan ballroom dress that's covered in ribbons and bows. And she's just like, "Get up here, you're late," to the two of you. There's some camera crews nearby, and some familiar people in the unit. Basically, everybody that's on the cast here is all in the audience for this.
He was like severely confused, as he was probably trying during the trip over there, trying to look through his phone, figure out what email he was supposed to get.
So the Countess says, for acts of bravery, above and beyond the call, I'm offering this promotion to Captain for Vincent Gray. And then she pulls out a set of captain's bars for you and offers a hand for you to shake.
Bandito will shake it as he recalls what he did previously.
Then
I yell out from the crowd, "Speech!"
The Countess turns to give a poisonous glance at Butch McGurk and says, "We need to stay on time, everyone. There's more to come." And then she offers the same bars to now Captain Hallaby Crossroads. Then literally everyone gets out of their seats, picks up their folding chairs, and begins going back to their vehicles. People are like rushing and running. The Countess is like stride walking to her vehicle. Howler's like, "Get in the car, sir, Captain."
Okay.
He tosses you a small hand-sized box.
Bandito will rush to the car, opening the box.
Inside there is 2 rings. As he gets inside the car, he's just like, "Listen, I didn't have a lot of choices, you know. I didn't have a lot of people that I know. I didn't grow up with any of you, but I feel like this unit is family for me. And when I was alone in my cockpit in 3 days of filth, you were the one that came in and got me and pulled me out and told me that I had a place in this unit. So I just want to ask you to be my best man."
Oh, okay. This is all right.
What did you think was happening?
Man, I have no idea.
Are
I just
you
got out
okay?
of the loony bin. I'm having a lot of process, right? When you have to listen to a bunch of people talk about their past experiences, just got out of there trying to process it, just got promoted.
Okay.
Being rushed. I'll be your best man. I'm sorry.
The screen fades to black and then rises again. The lower left-hand corner says 3057 Part 2. Paradin, why don't you tell us what you look like in 3057? If there's been any significant changes in the 6 years.
Not really. Paradin looks pretty much the same. It's just there's more and more gray creeping into his hair. But he still keeps the severe style of dress and the keeps himself trim. Obviously, he has to.
You are sitting at your office desk when you receive a communication from the local Comstar business office.
I'll bring it up.
The planetary presenter, so Presenter Kolavrati, says, "Do you have a moment? We have a communication for you."
Of course.
It fades to... You're not familiar with the symbol. You would suspect that it would be the symbol of the Federated Commonwealth, but instead it is the old Lyran mailed fist with a new emblem behind it. The bottom left-hand corner says "Live," And then it fades to the throne of the Lyran Commonwealth, flanked by 2 Griffin Battlemechs. And as the camera continues to zoom in, your old pen pal is there. But this is not Catherine Steiner-Davian, Catherine Morgan Steiner-Davian, college graduate wearing a sweatshirt. This is Archon, Katrina Steiner.
Archon, what an unexpected honor. He slowly slides the whiskey glass to make sure it stays
out of view.
Captain Harridan,
How can I be of service?
I am contacting all traditional Lyran unit commanders in person to inform them that under the Emergency War Powers Act, I have taken control of the Lyran half of the Commonwealth and am creating the formation of the Lyran Alliance in order to keep us out of Victor's war. I am asking for your pledge of personal loyalty to me, superseding that which you have given Countess Crow.
I've always been loyal. Shall continue to do so. If you wish me to swear an oath, you shall have it.
Well, congratulations, Major. You have my number if you require assistance in any political matters.
Can I ask what exactly is going on?
As you start talking, she raises
Very unorthodox.
She raises a finger, and the symbol of the Lyran Alliance appears on the screen, and like a little Lyran Alliance theme begins playing, and the live button in the bottom left-hand corner goes out.
So I guess that would be a no. I'm going to go hunt down the Countess.
Okay. The Countess is willing to meet with you. She is calling for you to come to her estate. And she meets you at like a reception room. There's a number of sandwiches and some orange juice set out. And she says, sitting on, like some armless duvet or something, like, is there something concerning you, Captain?
Has this room been swept recently?
Sweep it once a month as part of Bodian policy. We are an intelligence unit after all.
Perhaps we should go somewhere that is a bit more guaranteed of privacy.
We'll head to my secure bunker then. So she goes to a set of doors that say Loyal 16. And when she pushes a button, the doors reveal an elevator. You head down into an underground bunker and enter, I forget what they're called in real life, but like secure information room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something like that. She says, this is as secure as you're going to find on the whole planet of Kolavradi. What has you so perturbed, Captain?
Just received the most interesting live communication from one Archon, Katrina Steiner.
Katrina Steiner.
Catherine, yes. Seems there's something going on. She reached out to me directly asking for my pledge of loyalty.
I understand that you have been in contact with her before, but this is quite unusual.
Indeed.
Is she overthrowing her brother?
That's what I would surmise. Or at the very least, the Lyran Commonwealth is going to be no more. She stated that she wanted my oath of loyalty above even that of Crow's Black. I gave it to her, of course. But my loyalty stays with you.
So she nods and says, it seems that there will be difficult times ahead. I will be needed in the capital. Whatever happens, Commonwealth or Alliance, Catherine or Katrina, there will be legal and political ramifications for this action, and I will need to be there going to leave the unit in your hands for the next few days.
I have a feeling I'm going to have to be playing a very dangerous game in the coming months ahead.
As long as you're playing for the right side.
I always play for our side.
So as soon as the two of you exit this room, she gets a phone call from Comstar, and she puts the phone down afterwards while you're in the elevator and says, "Well, congratulations, Major. You have been promoted within Lyrian Intelligence."
Let's see how we can use this to our advantage.
This is... I am ill at ease opposing the head of a great house.
Well, perhaps we won't need to. But nevertheless, I wanted to make sure that you knew that that conversation took place, what I said, and what I mean.
So the elevator doors open, and she says, "I thank you for your loyalty, Sir Harridan."
Hopefully, at the very least, this is going to mean troubling days, but hopefully we can use this to help keep ourselves out of the worst of it.
Well, we are in the
Or
middle of
thick
nowhere.
it, depending on which pays the most.
She laughs in a way that she probably hasn't laughed since the day of the Kohlrabi invasion, and begins marching out towards a waiting helicopter, VTOL. And that is when we fade to black once more. So someone has asked for me to do a recap of season 1, 2, and 3, and when we return from our break, I will. We're not going on break right now. Instead, we cut back to the present, sometime in 3059, May 3059, just a few months before June. The four of you are gathered in a dropship briefing room when two men enter wearing dark black sunglasses. They have business suits on, but there are large bulges underneath their left arms. One of them, as they walk in, looks at all of you and then says something into his hand and walks out. Vincent Gray now has a major's rank emblem on his uniform and a lieutenant colonel at bars. So I forget, I think they're actually eagle clusters or oak clusters, something like that.
It's
Silver
both.
oak leaf
Silver oak leaf for Lieutenant Colonel Maxwell Harridan.
and a gold oak leaf for Bandito.
As you are waiting, wearing a kimono with two samurai swords, Prince Victor Ian Steiner Davian steps into the room and sits down across from you. He lays down a folder. It opens up in the process, and you can see that Harridan's face is there. There's upside down, all of you can read like ultra nationalist, and there's like quotation marks Fed rat. This is clearly a intelligence briefing on members of the unit. Colonel Harridan, I'm Prince Victor.
Prince Victor? Point down. Nice picture. What can I help you with?
You are a last-minute addition to the Star League Defense Force that the Archon has arranged. I wanted to make sure that you were on board with everything happening here. I understand that you are a man of honor in your own way, and that you may have, at some time in the past, had issue with citizens of the Federated Suns. So before we begin this briefing, I just wanted to make sure that there would be no issues with you and the chain of command.
Permission to speak freely?
Yes.
Issues with specific citizens don't always translate to issues with government.
Then you give me your word.
Absolutely.
Very well. And you can trust your staff here, because everything we're about to discuss is code word.
I look around. Is it like just
It is
command
the
staff?
It is the four player characters plus Captain Halvey Crossroads, Captain Zane Reiser, your vehicle commander.
Yes, every person in this room I trust with my life.
Very well. You may have heard about the reformation of the Star League and the Star League Defense Forces. You will all be issued unit patches indicating that you are currently members of the Star League Defense Force on loan from the Lyran Alliance. You're a bit late to the party, but it appears that your unit is fully operational, and you have brought with you all of the dropship and jumpship transport you need. We are initiating Operation Bulldog. I will have all the files sent to you, including our black file. Operation Bulldog is an offensive plan being launched out of the Draconis Combine. The entire Star League Defense Force military will be attempting to drive the Smoke Jaguar clan in a trial of annihilation attempt. We will not be offering them any honor. We will not be offering them any quarter. The Ares Convention does not apply. Any operational orders you normally would have been rescinded. Fighting within cities is approved. Fighting in civilian areas is approved. Fighting in ammo factories, mech factories, any location of war is all approved. Our operation, while minimizing civilian casualties, is to thoroughly destroy the entire Smoke Jaguar military establishment. Any symbols, any culture, any genetic material is all to be eliminated at every level.
My Prince Victor, if I didn't know any better, I'd say you were trying to send a message.
We are attempting to send a message that war is not a game.
I dislike the idea of civilian casualties, but we'll do everything we can.
That's unfortunate. I have assurances from the leader of the Lyran Alliance that your unit is uniquely qualified for a specific mission that might involve civilian casualties. Every word that he's saying is filled with distaste at this point.
We get the job done, if that's what you mean.
You're not prepared to launch with Wave 1 of Operation Bulldog. We are going to send you ahead in Wave 2. You will be landing on a specific planet, and you will be attempting to interdict the forces there. You're headed to the Albiero system, landing on Albiero 3. It's in the Draconis Combine, deep within Smoke Jaguar-held territory. You will be operating alone. Reinforcements will not arrive for 6 to 8 weeks. Your only operational command is to tie down the local enemy unit.
Understood.
Should be noted, we believe that you will not have air superiority. We'll be providing all of your people with mech pods so that you can drop as many forces as possible on the planet as you are landing. You will be outnumbered by clan forces, but I understand that this has never been a problem for your unit.
I wouldn't go so far as to say it wouldn't be a problem, but
Something that we're familiar with.
it's one that we're very familiar with, yes.
One question.
Yes.
I'm guessing there would be no prisoners.
Prisoners are to be kept and held in place, and they will be turned over to the Star League Defense Forces for disposal.
Understood.
The unit you'll be facing is the 11th Jaguar Regulars. They are currently undergoing refit, but we understand that they are a full-sized cluster unit, including a recent resupply to their aerospace wing. We believe that the sooner you strike, the sooner you may be able to get in there before they have a full 20 aerospace fighters. Certainly, you wouldn't want to try a contested landing.
No. Certainly not.
Are there any questions?
Don't we have a dropship specifically designed for contested landings?
He opens your folder and begins flipping through it and says, yes, a fortress dropship. Have you practiced such a landing?
Have we, Arthur? I don't know.
You have not.
How long have we had the dropship?
7 years.
So we haven't run a single drill with it.
I'm sure you've run drills with it, for sure. I don't know that you've never actually done it, right?
Well, that's what practice is. It's running drills.
Sure, absolutely. You've practiced with it many, many times.
That's what I say then.
Okay.
We practice a lot.
I don't doubt it. I would not want a member unit of the Star League Defense Force that was not prepared. But it's one thing to practice such a landing, it is quite another to perform it. I've only done a few myself, but they are each memorable.
How soon can we leave to be able to do our drop so we don't end up being contested?
We're placing your arrival on June 4th, 3059. We believe that if you leave as soon as possible, you'll be able to train on the mech pods in transit while your jump ship charges. It's going to take several jumps through uninhabited systems.
Well then, we'd best get started.
If your people don't have any further questions, Lieutenant Colonel, I would like to ask all field grade officers to remain. That's you, Major. Everyone else is dismissed.
I like the motion for everyone else to go.
Yeah, I don't get up and leave until Harridan says to get up and leave, and then I get up and leave.
That's why I knew he was going to do that.
It's
like
I sit there dumbly for a good 5 seconds until Harridan's like, and I'm like, oh.
Did you have a question, Major?
I was going to ask what this one mission you had in mind for us for this, that civilian casualties could be an issue.
Our mission operations plan has you taking the secondary starport and the city surrounding it with your tanks, your city fighting experience that few in the Inner Sphere have, your elemental suits, your battle suits, your jump infantry. We believe that if you turned the outer neighborhoods of the city into a battlefield, you would be able to have extremely high effectiveness against clan forces. Your orders are land, secure the spaceport, secure the city, evacuate the civilians, and then taunt the clans into engaging you.
Well,
we're skilled at that.
Yes. We'll
that
just
is,
have
I
Bandito
suspect,
negotiate with him.
Why you have been chosen. Gentlemen, he takes out a box that's roughly 2 feet long, 4 feet wide, and 1 foot tall, and says, field grade officers are being authorized to know about this. Information about it is not to spread beyond this room. One of you is to know the location of this object at all times, no matter where you are located. If you are in a mech cockpit, it escorts one of you into that cockpit. If you are in the bathroom, this escorts you into the bathroom. This object is not to fall into clan hands. It is to be destroyed if you are overrun. You understand?
Understood.
May I ask what it is?
This object is called a black box. It is capable of hyperpulse generator activity at the micro level. It has a fairly long range of communication, about 50 light years. However, it can only transmit text data. If you require support, if you require mission assistance, if you simply need to send in a mission update, you are to use this particular box.
Understood.
Any orders that you receive through this black box, you are to assume have come directly from me as commander of Operation Bulldog. I want to emphasize once again, gentlemen, knowledge of this box cannot spread to the rest of your unit, cannot spread to a civilian, cannot spread to the clans.
I can understand something like this. I imagine Comstar wouldn't be very happy if they were to learn of its existence.
He just stares at you.
I just glance at him quickly.
Is there a certain code word in order to signify that it is you? Or is like a certain word that you always start with? Just in case somehow.
If you receive a message from this box that you suspect is not from me, you are in an incredible amount of danger.
Okay. That sounds about right.
We will be providing a handler to your unit who will assist you in the instruction of this particular object. Lieutenant
Understood.
Marissa Collins.
Look forward to meeting her.
Down boy.
What?
Gentlemen, if there are no further questions, I have an invasion to get to.
As do we.
We cut to the present. We see Maxwell Harridan's mech pod bounce off of a strut from a damaged Leopard engine block. We can see that the lettering on the side of it lists that it is Wings of the Crow dropship Leopard CV class. There are about a half dozen Crow's Black aerospace fighters that are exploded wrecks lying around it. There are a number of clan aerospace fighters that are also fighting here, even now, attempting to shoot down drop pods as all three of the drop ships attempt to maneuver and land on planet. Sid, you look like you want to say something. Your screen is completely blacked out after you slam into the dropship engine. Moments later, it begins restarting, and your battle mech reconnects to your mech pod, and you can see that once again you are slightly off course but falling towards the planet Albiero 3.
And there's no way to control this thing, is there?
No, it is automatic. And more importantly, it not only has it sealed you in, but it has covered your entire mech with jump jets. So it has an exoskeleton frame. Even if you could move, your mech would not move properly because it's got about 50 tons of jump jets on it.
Breaking jump for the breaking
Yep.
landing.
All of you have about 30 seconds to contact each other before atmospheric interference. The drop has not gone as anticipated. All 20 clan aerospace fighters were in your path during the jump and have destroyed most of your aerospace wing. Your dropships have also engaged, and the Wings of the Crow has been scattered and destroyed in the process. Roughly 4 or 5 clan aerospace fighters remain, and you have 2 pilots up in the air. You can see that some of your mech drop pods are missing. Either somebody's off course or they're dead.
I just flip open comms. This is Harridan. Call out if you're not dead.
Not dead.
Very good.
Still alive somehow.
I mean, I assume Arthur hasn't told me yet.
You're alive.
Okay.
No, I'll tell you guys when you're dead. Don't
Because
worry.
that would be pretty funny if
I
he's
know.
like, no, new character.
That's it.
haven't
That's
died
all we
yet.
see in McGurk.
After the unit checks in, all of your comms get fuzzed out as you begin entering the upper atmosphere, and your mech's heat warnings begin rising very quickly. Your mech pods are shaking intensely, and there's nothing to cut the gravity here. You're landing at about 6 Gs, which means all of you are being smushed into your cockpit seats intensely. After minutes of this incredible pain and pressure, the outer skin of the mech pods fly off, and about a kilometer from the ground, all of your mechs, extra jump jets, plus most of the unit also has jump jets, all begin firing in a pattern. There's a long tongue of flame beneath each of your mechs pointed towards the ground. And the instant right before you hit the ground, your mechs kind of float there for a second before the exoskeletons eject off and then explode in the process so that no one can recover them. Your Battlemechs are all on the ground and walking.
We're like running. So I immediately slam it into full drive because you said I was a bit off course, so I need
You
to
are a
catch
bit
up
off
to everybody
course.
else.
Let us roll for the beginning of the engagement, friends. Who is strategically commanding this unit?
I believe that.
I have no idea now. My tactics is 5 currently. If that's what we're still using.
Just base tactics -4.
Very well.
What is it combined with your, I think it's intelligence?
Oh, 8.
God damn.
Man,
That's your total to your roll? Then let's roll, friend.
what did you
I have an intelligence of 4 and a tactics of 4.
Yep, that sounds
Oh.
right.
Is your strength like 1 again?
No, it's 2.
What
What did you dump then?
What do you mean?
Well, you have a 2 edge and you have a 4 intelligence.
Mhm.
You had to dump something.
Something has to be a 1.
No. We had 16 points to spend.
It's 12.
12. You're veterans.
See, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
It's
12,
16 skill points.
Okay, hey. Oh, right. Hang on. Let's see,
Friends,
4,
during the
7, 8, 9,
break,
10, 11,
someone's
12.
character is going to be changing
Okay.
quite a bit.
All right, so
Nerf
We'll
yourself.
all right, strength of 1.
You're OP.
Paradin shows up and says, nerf this.
Isn't it 2? All right. Okay. Intelligence of 3, not 4. There we go.
All right,
We're
so plus
balanced
7.
out.
How many skill
Listen.
points do you have?
Right now, 13. Oh, skill points, 16.
Okay.
Perfect. You did it.
You sure?
I
We're
just
good?
messed up on the attributes. It's,
Uh-huh.
it's
Won the
fine,
game.
It's fine.
I'm checking Sid's sheet right now. I gotta find it first.
I'll tell you what. I'm
I
going to
had
roll
I had
my
16
dice.
skill points, and then what was added on from the life path modules.
You let me know when you're ready to roll.
I had just done 16 for the attributes.
Well, I got 3 on the dice, so great news for you. My total right now is only an 8.
Well, I rolled an 8 naturally, so
Fantastic. No matter what your numbers are, whether they're 1 or whether they're who knows how high, your team will be placing second. I will be placing 2 mechs onto the field, my good friends, and I shall place both of these wonderful Mistlinks, Mistlinks 1 and 2, aka the Koshi, onto the field at this position. And this position. Please, if you would, tell me about the mechs that you were all piloting as you place them onto the battlefield. Who's going first?
How do we want to engage these guys?
Well, I'm sorry. Where do we have to be?
I think we're on this side
Are
of
we
the
on
field.
this
You guys
side,
are on
or-
this
Okay.
side.
Okay.
Under that.
All right. Who doesn't have jump jets?
I think Cotton's the only one that doesn't have jump jets, but she has a 12 run speed, so
Jesus.
Yeah, she's really
Okay.
fast.
Oh, we're in our mediums.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. I thought we were going to be in our assaults.
Nope.
Well, I vote we keep as much cover as possible and come in right around in here so we can run up this way.
Sounds
Go
good.
straight after their links.
So, Rad, tell us about the Cian Rad.
Yeah. Heavy Sevens Centurion. It moves with a uncanny lifelike property. It has all sorts of extra special modifications that cater specifically to his piloting skill, his strengths and his weaknesses. So instead of like a regular mech that runs with its arms at its sides with its elbows tucked in, it moves much more fluidly, where its arms are pumping and its legs are moving as it sort of sprints like a linebacker in the direction of travel.
Very well. Allow me to place another mech upon the battlefield, friends.
Are these trees?
Well, yes, those are trees. Do you not see trees?
Well, I see trees. They don't have any like light or heavy.
Correct. They are
Okay.
all light. All the
Okay.
trees here are light.
Okay.
Friends, I have placed a Arctic Cheetah C on the battlefield. Please, who will place next and tell me about yourself?
I'll go next.
No, I see a Wolverine here. You don't have to go.
Right.
Tell me about this Wolverine.
The Wolverine is a modification on the 7K. It's Bandito's home. Is the Wolverine. It took out one of the SRM6s and switched out the other one for a Streak 4. And took out the large pulse and put into large lasers, and then has a couple more medium lasers as it took out the small pulse and small medium pulse lasers. It is bulkier than what other Wolverines are. It has slightly more armor. And that's about it.
Very well. I shall place this Koshi Mislinks B upon the battlefield. Sid, I believe you were placing next.
Yeah. So we got a Phoenix Hawk M6. Special variant. It basically swapped off most of its weapons and replaced them with just a butt ton of ER mediums and medium pulse lasers. It's extremely heat inefficient. If it fired everything, then it would risk shutdown.
It even has a really long range jump radius as well.
Yeah,
this is actually my favorite mech. This is the only mech out of the entire lance I would actually pilot.
Has a jump range of 6, and the major benefit is that it has maximum armor that you can stack onto this chassis, and it can still lose an arm without losing any of its standard firing capabilities. Doesn't matter which arm.
Is it because that it has only 2 different types of lasers?
That's also because it has way too many lasers.
No, he's asking Arthur why it's the only mech he can pilot.
Because it is a simple, elegant build with only 2 different types of lasers. I shall place my Articheetah upon the battlefield. Cotton, please show us your moves here.
Elegance has no place on the battlefield, only violence.
Ultra violence.
Correct.
Cotton, what can you tell us about the Owens?
It's an Owens.
Very well.
There's nothing changed about it. It's just an Owens.
Everyone else was happy to custom build, and Cotton is perfectly satisfied with the Owens. Which is fine, because it's a fine mech. Well, actually, I have to tell you, the Owens sucks really badly.
Don't listen to him, God.
I got the Owens because she specifically told me it was a good mech to pilot.
Rad told you it was a good mech to pilot.
You agreed.
I said that some of the other variants were all right. I said that
it's a good mech. Arthur
I indicated I
like
personally hated the Owens.
Don't worry.
He hates it because it has a bunch of different weapon types.
He hates it because it's better than the Jenner, which he likes.
You know what? It is better than the Jenner, and I do like the Jenner, but I don't hate it just because of that.
It's better than the Raven, we should say.
Better than both of those mechs.
Look, I'm not a super Raven fan, but I want to point out that both in the pre-stream chat and in #Battletech chat on Discord today, people were repping for the Raven. You are insulting our fine internet audience members whenever
the Raven's a classic, but that doesn't mean it's the best mech at what it does.
It is the greatest mech that has ever been forged into existence.
Yeah, but those guys cost me my indirect fire perks.
Such an emotional creature.
The one custom things about the Owens that I have, it's probably painted like an ostrich.
Here's what I love about what all of the work that Bandito has done over here. So let me show it to you, friends. I haven't even seen it yet. Pondo has set up all of their ammunition, and I'm not going to pay attention to any of that shit. We have never had a mech run out of ammunition on the battlefield. It's never happened.
I don't know if that's true.
I painstakingly kept track of ammunition for 3 seasons. Now I don't have to do it. Get this shit out of here.
Actually, I almost did last season a couple times.
Well, that's because
I
you never reloaded and you just had to fire your Gauss rifle. Well, okay. Yeah.
That's also how I learned that there was ammo, was like 4 or 5 episodes in, when you're like, how much Gauss ammo do you have left?
Oh, shit.
Friends, let us play out one round of it. Will almost certainly be simply moving, and then we will hit the break. Let us roll to see who goes first. Although my recollection is correct, SidAlpha has a character with too many experience points.
No, it's adjusted. It's fixed.
Look at that dice go.
Oh my god.
9 plus 5 is 14.
7 plus 8 is 15.
Very well.
I also
Friends.
have the special perk that lets me re-roll if I want to.
Is that your leadership?
Hell yeah.
I have leadership.
Where is your sheet? I need to see this.
That isn't written down, but remember when the three of us were talking, that was the one I decided
remember.
on.
Was that a 2-point or a 3-point?
It's a 3-point.
A 3-point. That's why it's the only one you have, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Don't take it personally. Pondo has 0 trust when it comes to you doing your own stats. Anybody doing their own stats.
You
No,
start
it's fun.
fact checking my sheet.
Better,
and I'll tell
better
you
to get it
fuck
done
off.
now than figure it out like 5 episodes in. Like, this is all wrong. Like, well, crap. I really don't mind somebody double checking my work because I did screw up the attributes by 3 points, so I had to adjust that.
10
That's
move,
true.
so it's a plus 4.
I wish we had 16 to start with. That would have been nice.
Is that what elite pilots get? Probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
Strangely enough, it's also about what some of their example. I can't remember what expert one started with too.
Friends,
Mm-hmm.
one pilot on your side must move.
I'll go. 4. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Could have just jumped.
I'll just jump.
You actually get like right there. 2,
1,
3,
2, 3,
4, 5, 6. Yeah, I can get like right there.
Then I'll get right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Here we got. What are these things? Movement rates? I think it's 7, 11, 8,
You're fast,
12.
all right.
Ten, 11, 12. Friends.
I'll go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
No, I don't want to jump. Probably. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you are up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And yep. Where are these dice? Run. There they are.
2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, and
Okay.
last to move, please go. Cotton in the Owens, the very fast Owens.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I guess I'll just stay there.
Very well.
That's right. You ever run a 12, don't you?
Friends.
Oh, we're not piloting clan mechs, so we don't have our instant 1v1 buttons.
I have one installed from the Solaris games. You obviously need one of those.
Just to be clear, I don't know if I mentioned it. I think I might have passed over it during the briefing, but you've been ordered not to engage in trials with the clans.
That makes sense.
Doesn't mean we'll be beholden to it. It's just
Correct.
Strategic strategy.
When we return, we're going to start shooting each other. We're going to start spotting each other. Things will happen. It should be noted very quickly You all have the following stats. Correct me if I'm wrong at any point. Murder 6, Gunnery 3, Piloting 4, Edge 2.
Yes.
Bandito, Gunnery 3, Piloting 3, Edge 1.
Yep.
Heavy 7, Gunnery 2, Piloting 3, Edge 1.
Correct.
Black Rabbit, Gunnery 3, Piloting 4, Edge 1. Very well. Each of you then receives 1 or 2 plot points based on the amount of points that you have put in. During this mission, Mission 1, you have the following supports available, which are on page 54 of your MechWarrior Destiny book. Any aerospace battle support may be called in by the group paying the requisite amount of plot points. And also available is anti-mech infantry. Rapier's jump infantry will jump off of a dropship, land on the battlefield, drop a few bombs, and then get out.
Sick.
And hope not to get incinerated.
Yes, they will hope to not be incinerated. That is, if there's one thing Rapier constantly hopes in his life when he is driving on a motorcycle with a rocket pack on his back, it is not to be incinerated.
He still has like 50 edge though, right?
Noble gold.
No, it's been dwarfed down to only 30.
He has 3
just
edge, but he
23
only
edge.
has 1 in all of his stats now. When we return, friends, there will be that and more. I will be opening by doing a brief history of season 1, 2, and 3, and then we will get back to killing each other. Stick around for the second half. Wish. That's right, we don't have the flame anymore. We got this cool techno thing.